Has there been a weaker NDP leader in my lifetime, in our lifetimes, than Jagmeet Singh?
Justin Trudeau isn't going to make it until Halloween. Welcome back to Moose and Loose. My name's David, and today's top stories here. So this big blow-up that's going on in the Liberal government, you got two ministers stepping down. Dominic LeBlanc appointed as the new finance minister. Well, we've got now Peter Julian in the middle of a 11-hour CBC live broadcast. Peter Julian, just this little nugget of like 2 minutes, admits they will stop supporting Justin Trudeau at a certain point here, poll their support, and vote non-confidence. It's amazing to actually hear it, not coming from Jagmeet Singh, that weasel, but Peter Julian. Let's jump into this. With all the chaos that's going on, we've got Right Blend here on Twitter that was able to get a shot here of Justin Trudeau and heckle him.
King Trudeau, what gives you the right to continue? What gives you the right to stay in office? You failed Canada. You've ruined our country. You're done. Walk away. You don't have an ounce of your father's integrity. At least he walked in the snow. You've ruined this country. Everyone around you is running from you. They're abandoning you. Freeland, Sean Fraser, they've all left you. It's time for you to go. It's time for Canada to have an election. You're not the king.
Wow.
You're not the king of this country. You are not our king. You are a public servant and you have failed.
Wow. Well done, Right Blend. Absolutely ripping him a new one there. You ripped him so bad he actually looked at you. He wanted to see who was saying that. King Trudeau didn't like that. No, he didn't like it at all. What we're looking at here is a long lens looking into Justin Trudeau's cabinet meeting. While this is going on, while they're trying to peek in the window here, David Cochrane of the CBC talks with Peter Julian about non-confidence votes, and we've never had this level of honesty coming from the NDP ever. Spoiler alert, it's not from Jagmeet Singh, as I mentioned, Peter Julian.
We're going to speak with Peter Julian. He is the NDP House Leader. He is standing by where I was supposed to be tonight in normal course of coverage of a fall economic statement from the basement of the House of Commons. Peter Julian, your leader said today that Justin Trudeau needs to go and that all options are on the table when it comes to voting in the House of Commons. Does that mean the NDP is finally ready to vote non-confidence in the Liberals? Where are you?
Well, it was very clear. I mean, Jagmeet said it's time for the Prime Minister to step down. We certainly saw this from this debacle today. I mean, we're not talking about an amateur dysfunctional community organization. We're talking about a G7 nation. And this fall economic update was a complete travesty, a debacle. It's unbelievable to me that the Prime Minister does not recognize his part in putting together this debacle today. And our broader concern, we've got the Trump tariffs that are coming that may threaten hundreds of thousands of jobs in Canada. We have Canadians that are struggling to make ends meet and put food on the table. And the Liberals are just consumed with this internal drama and the Prime Minister's drama. And it is time for him to go so that we can actually get back to putting in place things that will actually make a benefit to people and to take on the Trump tariffs that are coming within a matter of weeks.
Okay, so what if he does?
So before they go forward with this, let's just jump over to Jagmeet, because right after this, he's going to drop his bombshell. But it makes more sense after you see Jagmeet's press conference. This fool here, Jagmeet Singh, was questioned about this as well. And this is what he had to say.
Right now, Canadians are struggling with the cost of living. I hear it everywhere I go. People cannot find a home that they can afford. They can't buy their groceries. And on top of that, we have Trump threatening tariffs at 25%, which put hundreds and thousands of Canadian jobs at risk. And instead of focusing on these issues, Justin Trudeau and the Liberals are focused on themselves. They're fighting themselves instead of fighting for Canadians. For that reason, today I'm calling on Justin Trudeau to resign. He has to go.
I think it's fair to say for all Canadians here, Jagmeet, you also have to go.
Will you declare no confidence in the Liberal government as soon as possible?
All tools, all options are on the table. People are hurting. People are struggling. And so all options are on the table.
Sorry, just to clarify.
That doesn't mean anything, Jagmeet. Come on.
You're calling for him to resign, but you are not willing to vote no confidence in his government. How do those two things connect?
All options are on the table. All options.
That's not an answer, Jagmeet. The pension is on the table. We know what's going on.
What does it mean for your support with the Liberals, though? How can you say he needs to resign, but then you're not telling us what you're going to do for non-confidence?
Telling you that all options are on the table.
There it is.
Fez? Will you support the Fez? And also, are you willing to continue to support the Liberals if there is a different leader aside from Trudeau?
Right now, that's not in front of us. There's no votes in front of us, but we will take each vote. And right now, literally everything's on the table.
Everything's on the table, folks. Everything. This guy is such a politician. That means nothing, Jagmeet. You could say peanut butter and jam is on the table. It's on the table.
Go ahead. Saying, Mr. Singh, that all options are on the table. So why are you holding out the option to still support this government? I understand that you're saying that you might, trigger a confidence vote, but why are you still holding out the option? What is the glimmer of hope that you're seeing to possibly support the Feds or possibly support this government in some other way?
Depends on the votes. And so I want to make it very clear. Justin Trudeau has to go. He has to resign. And because of that, all options are on the table. And we'll look at each vote and we'll make a decision. But now all options are on the table. Paul Wells.
They weren't on the table before because Big Daddy Trudeau said they weren't on the table, but now they are.
Go ahead, Paul. Go ahead, Paul.
Behind you, sir, that room behind you is a parliament. The government continues to govern as long as MPs continue to have confidence in the government. You have no say over who the leader of the Liberal Party is. Will you support the government, or are you withdrawing your support from the government?
With respect to that, I've said that all options are on the table. That means everything is possible. But what is clear, given what we have seen, Justin Trudeau and a Liberal government that are focused on themselves, they are infighting at a time when people cannot even do their groceries. They can't even find homes that are affordable. And we've got the threat of Donald Trump and 25% tariffs that mean hundreds of thousands of jobs are at risk. Because of that, I'm saying very clearly that Justin Trudeau has to resign. All options on the table. Thank you very much. Merci.
Look at this Weasley little rat running away. He's just scurrying out of here. Run away, Jagmeet, run away. That's the typical response we'd expect from Jagmeet. But Peter Julian, listen to this. He says they will call an election after February.
Doesn't, Mr. Julian? I mean, we've got a live shot up on the screen of inside the Liberal caucus room, which is happening on this extraordinary meeting, which is happening on the second floor of the Sir John A. Macdonald building, which is right across from the West Block on Wellington Street in downtown Ottawa. If they can't convince him to go, I'm not sure Jagmeet Singh's scrum today will convince the Prime Minister to go, but you have the parliamentary might to force him to go. I mean, what if he doesn't leave willingly? What are you going to do then?
There will be confidence motions when we come back in February, March, and that will be the time when the NDP will follow up on what Jagmeet Singh said today. I don't know whether the Prime Minister is going to survive this evening. I know of many Liberal MPs that are deeply upset. Obviously, the former finance minister, Ms. Freeland, sent a very clear message about her feelings about the Prime Minister. And I think the public has also said what their feelings are about the Prime Minister. He needs to heed that message from so many different sources, including his own caucus and his own cabinet. And I think he has to do the right thing and resign.
Okay, but you said there's going to be confidence votes in February and in March. Does that mean if Justin Trudeau is still the Prime Minister and leader of the Liberal Party in February and March, does all options on the table mean the NDP will vote no, vote non-confidence in the government in those 2 months on that timeline?
If we're talking the end of February and the beginning of March and Mr. Trudeau has not stepped down, hasn't heeded that call from his own caucus, from his own cabinet, from all the opposition parties, then yes. So, of course, that would mean if we're coming up to a straight-up non-confidence motion the end of February, early March, that's one of the tools that we have. And so there's no doubt about that. I mean, Jagmeet Singh was very, very clear.
He was not clear, and that answer wasn't clear either. But don't worry, he does clear this up. What's interesting, though, before we go on, is that he said if the confidence motions are at the end of February, early March. I'm not exactly sure when the first confidence motion could come in, but it's very convenient that his wording there lines up exactly with when Jagmeet gets his pension. Remember, February 25th is when Jagmeet Singh gets that lucrative $2.2 million pension that we have to pay for. And all these crumb snatchers on the NDP bench have been supporting Jagmeet all the way to pension land.
Concern, really, David, isn't just late February, early March. It's right now. People need the supports. We need a government that actually is functional and is putting those supports into place. And we need all hands on deck in terms of the Trump tariffs, which threaten hundreds of thousands of jobs. So this idea that the Liberals can play out a drama over the course of the next few months, simply not on. And the NDP, and I think Jagmeet Singh was very clear about that.
Okay, well, with respect, Mr. Julian, he kind of wasn't. He just kept saying all options are on the table, right? And, you know, there's lots of options on lots of tables. It doesn't mean they get exercised. And you say that voting no is one of the tools you have available to them. But am I understanding you correctly that if Justin Trudeau's prime minister in February or March, 100% the NDP votes non-confidence in the government when it comes to the floor of the House of Commons?
When it's a straight up confidence motion, if at the end of February, early March, if we have
the end of February or early March, make sure Jagmeet gets that pension first.
Continued debacle that we're seeing here, and the prime minister has not stepped down, though I doubt that. I mean, I think the odds are that he will heed the message tonight from his own caucus and his own cabinet. We simply cannot continue like this. So yes, the NDP, as the adults in the room, would step up on that. We believe
the NDP, as the adults in the room, will step up on that. Now, if these adults want to step up anytime soon here, maybe like last week or last month, or if like 5 months ago, maybe you could step up then too.
That we need to be taking action now to help people and to stand up against the Trump administration.
He said they will not support Justin Trudeau past February. Going into March, there's no more support for Justin Trudeau. But another thing he did say here, though, is that if Justin Trudeau does resign, they may still support the Liberals going forward. So if Trudeau, say, steps down January 15th, pick a day, then they may keep supporting them all the way until October. And the reason for this, though, they would then further be able to try to get more support for their own party, because they know that Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives are going to win. But maybe they can get a few more seats, because if Trudeau's gone, then maybe they can hold on and try to work some magic and get some more seats. I think that's what their rationale is. It makes no sense because they've been the one holding Canadians hostage. So I don't know why anyone would ever support the NDP again, and the Liberals. Both those parties should be removed. Clearly, some Canadians' stubbornness is more important than the suffering of Canadians. Next up, you got to check out this clip here on CBC. I know, CBC of all places, they bring on this guy here, just absolutely rips Trudeau a new one, and it's such a good analysis of how he was trying to play Chrystia Freeland, and really, it backfired on him big time.
I assume it's absolutely accurate because it would have been refuted by now. You wouldn't have been on air all day long talking about this without any pushback from the Prime Minister's office if it wasn't accurate. So given that it's accurate, it's a...
So he's talking about Chrystia Freeland's resignation letter and everything she said in there, with it being accurate. The wording she used in there made Justin Trudeau seem very forceful with how he was running the show there.
Pretty damning indictment of the way Justin Trudeau thinks about his cabinet ministers, and the fact that he was caught thinking that this was going to be a cute move. We're going to get Minister Freeland to go out there, put forward a fall economic statement she doesn't agree with, and then we will replace her the day afterwards with somebody else, probably from outside of caucus, who will then come out and fix what she's done, even after she's been a longtime loyal cabinet minister to him, as though she would just kind of go along with that and be satisfied with that. It's the outrageousness of his perception of what his cabinet minister's role is in this government, and frankly, you know, the lack of just EQ to understand how you treat people just on a basic human basis after almost a decade of partnership in government is staggering.
This really does say a lot about Justin Trudeau as a human, as a really terrible human, and how he treats people. So just think, this is someone he's had his right-hand person there, Chrystia Freeland, for 10 years. That's how he treats her? The feminist Trudeau? The guy's a big fake. He's a fraud and a phony.
And to any other Liberal cabinet minister or backbencher who thinks that he's going to treat them differently, Chrystia Freeland was his most loyal and trusted lieutenant in the government through thick and thin, through COVID, through Donald Trump 1.0, through ups and downs in the economy and all kinds of challenges this government has faced, through all of it. And that's how he treated her. If he will treat her that way, he will treat you that way. And if you are under any illusions otherwise, then you are absolutely in the wrong business. So the toxic message that this spreads through the entirety of the rest of his cabinet and government is absolute. And those cabinet ministers are going to be flying home, I imagine, tonight or tomorrow, I guess, when the House breaks, and they'll be talking to their family members, and all of them are going to be saying, you need to get out of there. You got to get out of there. So that Justin Trudeau thinks that he can get away with treating people on a human, personal basis this way and get away with it is staggering. And then you've got, of course, Jagmeet Singh going along and saying, you know, he doesn't have confidence in Justin Trudeau, but he has confidence in the Justin Trudeau government. I mean, what a joke. Has there been a weaker NDP leader in my lifetime, in our lifetimes, than Jagmeet Singh? He probably might have even had a worse day than Justin Trudeau, standing there being the one guy defending the status quo of this government. It's staggering when New Democrats are ahead of the Liberals in English Canada. They have the opportunity to replace the crashing Liberal Party as the progressive voice for Canadians, and he doesn't see his opportunity. I mean, Jagmeet Singh is just beyond the weakest NDP leader they could possibly have in this.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, so what's interesting about Jagmeet here is he came out and just said everything's on the table, but then you've got Peter Julian saying, oh yeah, we're definitely going to be kicking Trudeau out and voting non-confidence at the end of February. Now, did Peter Julian just slip that out? Did he accidentally say that information? Was he not supposed to say that information? It very much wasn't a Freudian slip, but David Cochrane did ask Peter Julian multiple times, so are you going to vote non-confidence? And eventually he kind of pushed him to say there'll be confidence votes in February and March, and yeah, at the end of February, yeah, in March, yeah, we'll vote non-confidence. So tell me straight, are you going to vote non-confidence? Yeah, we're not going to support Justin Trudeau. Like he worked it out of him, but he said it. Was he supposed to say that? It's very bizarre because Jagmeet Singh, he's just like, oh, everything's on the table. Like he doesn't want to say anything. Was it okay because Peter Julian's saying it, so we're not thinking about the pension? Comes down to it, the NDP have basically shown their hand that it has always been about the pension. Supporting Jagmeet, like what do they get out of this? Every day they're making a lot of money. We can check into the pensions of the other NDP members. I'm sure some of them are getting their pensions along the way as well. But this whole thing has been about the pension for Jagmeet Singh. And the NDP have just proven that. They've told us that today. Check out this clip of NDP Charlie Angus dropping an F-bomb here. It's just chaos in Parliament.
What the I mean, how does the Prime Minister on the eve of a statement that we've been waiting for months, Deep Six, his finance minister, and think that things are going to be normal? What concerns me is that we are in this serious crisis. We're facing a Trump administration coming in. We've got a Prime Minister who's missing in action, and now his Deputy Prime Minister, his Finance Minister, has jumped ship. The Prime Minister needs to show up and explain how this gong show was allowed to happen.
Wow. We basically got everyone just speaking their minds, their true minds now. Maybe he and his useless party should stop supporting them in confidence votes. Yeah. Why are they still supporting the captain of the sinking ship? NDP Charlie Angus, another disingenuous clown. He's not running in the next election, by the way. Well, there's speculation of Trudeau stepping down. I don't think it's going to happen. His narcissism will keep him in power until October when we can vote his butt out. Or, as you heard here, the NDP steps up and votes him out. You know, after Jagmeet gets his pension, is there really any other reason they wouldn't vote Justin Trudeau out?